Hello friends, it's me, January23, and welcome to my May TBR! Very excited because I'm taking part in 2 different readathons, and I have lots of books that are super fun, and I cannot wait to get into. So, the first readathon I'm taking part in is the Asian Readathon. This is hosted by Read with Cindy, and I will link the I will link the announcement video in my description box below. The focus of this readathon is to read books that are by Asian authors and that highlight Asian stories, and that is because May is AAPI Heritage Month. So there was 5 different prompts, and you can double up books between prompts, but I'm going to try not to. I might have to if I can't get the one book, but I'll explain that later. The other twist is that each book that you read has to be written by an author of a different ethnicity, so they can't just all be Chinese authors. You have to switch it up. So let's get started on my books. The first prompt is to read a book by an Asian author. And for this, I'm going to be reading Dragon Pearl by Yoonha Lee. They are Korean. This book is a middle grade sci-fi about a fox spirit. It's Rikuon Presents, so it's like an own voices story about mythology, and this one's Korean mythology, and it just sounds really cool. The back says fox spirit and space opera and ghosts and pirates. I'm sold. That's it. So very excited to be getting to this. Then the second prompt is to read a book featuring an Asian main character, and for this I'm going to be reading Written in the Stars by Yeasha Saeed, who is Pakistani. This book is about a girl whose parents, I believe they all live in the US, and her parents really give her choices on what she wants to do with her life, besides the one thing is that they're going to arrange her marriage. She ends up falling in love with a boy, which is an obvious no-no, and they send her, I believe they all actually go to Pakistan to kind of revisit her roots, but turns out they have set up a marriage for her and they're going to try and make her do that. And she isn't a fan, so I've had this book for so long. Don't know when I got it, but very much looking forward to it. So the third prompt is to read a book in a genre that you enjoy. I enjoy YA fantasy, so I will be reading We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Fazal. She's Sri Lankan, and this book, do I know what it's about? No. I definitely have read the back of, I guess, the flap before, since I got it, but I forget what it's about because I got it 2 years ago. And I kind of want to go into it blind. I think that will be fun. So if you want a description on this, I will of course leave the Goodreads to all my books, leave the links down below so you can read up on it. But I wanna go into it blind. I've heard lots of good things and I'm just excited. So that's for the third prompt. So the fourth prompt is to read a nonfiction by an Asian author, and for this I actually finished it this morning, but I read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. I listened to this as an audiobook and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And it is just about tidying and about kind of KonMariing your life. She has a whole philosophy, and it was really interesting to kind of learn about that, to see her perspective on it, on tidying. She finds so much joy in it, and she just, it was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. So the fifth and final prompt is to read a book by an author not in America. So The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up can count for this. I might double it up because I don't know if I'm going to get the book that I want to read from the library in time by the end of May, but we're hoping. Well, the book I want to read is Book Love by Debbie Tiong. She is Chinese, but she lives in England? Yeah. And this is just kind of nonfiction, graphic novel, fun book about people who love books. And I'm like, that's me. I love books. So I am looking forward to reading it. I think it will be very fun. So that's it for the prompts, but when trying to decide this TBR, I found a lot of other books that are written by Asian authors that I want to try and get to this month, so I'm going to talk about those. First off, I have the Reader Trilogy by Tracy, Chee, and I hadn't heard anything about this book. I just got it because it was a good price, and also it's about a world where where reading is unheard of, but then our main character finds a book, and I was like, that sounds pretty cool. but I hadn't heard anything about it until literally like a week ago on TikTok. Some person was talking about like books they recommend for AAPI Heritage Month, and this was on it, and she gave a really good review, and I was like, okay. And I actually started reading it, and I found this, and I was like, what the heck? Like, why is my book all scratched out? So I thought it was printed, but just to be sure, like, I googled it. Turns out these books all have Easter eggs hidden throughout them. Wild. Like, they have that, like that smudge, but then also, like, at the bottom of some of the pages, that's a horrible example. They have, like, words. Like, you can't really see it. But beside, like, beside the number, it says book. Like, it's spelling out a sentence in the bottom. That is so neat, and that, like, sold me on them, so I'm gonna read all of these. The third one is on its way, because I know I'm gonna love them, because what the heck? Amazing. Very excited. Then I have Abushan, The End of Time by Rashani Chokshi. This is the first book in a quartet. It's another Vikion Presents, and it is about a girl who tends to stretch the truth a bit, and on a trip to a museum, the Museum of Ancient Indian Art and Culture, she accidentally summons a god of destruction. Very cool. Actually not cool, probably dangerous, but it's fine. I think this is going to be very fun, and I'm really excited to finally get to it. It is based off of, I believe, Indian mythology and maybe Hindu mythology, and it just seems great, so looking forward to it. The next book I have is Kfire's War by Nina Varela. This is the first book in a duology. It is like sci-fi dystopia, possibly. I'm not sure if it counts as a dystopia, but it's in a world where the humans are now the servant and the Autome have kind of risen up to be like the ruling group. And it's an enemies to lovers between a human and an Autome, and it is sapphic, and it sounds really good. I tried reading it before, and I didn't get super into it, so I'm a little like hesitant, but I really want to love this book. I really do. So I'm hoping giving it, like, I'm more in the mood now and it'll be better, but yes. Then I have 3 Dark Crowns by Kendall Blake. This book is about triplets, and every like generation triplets are born on this island, and they all have to fight to see who will be queen between the 3 of them. It sounds a little dark, but I'm looking forward to it. One person is a poisoner, the other is an elemental, and the last one is a naturalist. So they all have like these different powers, and they're gonna fight to see who becomes queen. And I believe they were like raised in like different houses, and I don't know, it seems really good, so I'm excited. So yeah. And then for Do the Thingathon, this is the other readathon I'm taking part in. It takes place the last week of the month, and its goal is to just kind of revisit your reading goals that you set at the beginning of the year and try and make progress towards them. Technically, a bunch of those books count because my main reading goal is to really work on my physical TBR and lowering that. However, I am gonna set like another thing for myself, and I probably won't do it, but just in case. I want to continue reading these books. I started the Bjorn vs. Read Along last year. Didn't even follow it. Actually, I read the first series. I read the Percy Jackson series, but I didn't go any further. And I really want to read all of his books. So we're starting off The Lost Hero. It is the first book in the Heroes of Olympus series, and it's kind of a spin-off sequel series to the Percy Jackson one, and we're bringing in Roman mythology here, and it's very good. I actually have read this book, so this series would be a reread, but when I continue, so. It was a goal of mine last year to really knock down Vikiron's books, so I'm going to be continuing it, hopefully this year. And then I have 2 final books that don't really fit into either of those readathons, but I do really want to read them. The first one is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I have been meaning to read this since it came out. I've actually already started, and it's probably going to be like one of the first books I read out of this pile. So it won't count for Do the Thingathon, but that's okay. I will take it. I really don't want to be spoiled. I'm really worried that people are going to stop putting spoiler warnings on their posts about it soon, and I love the series, so I don't want to be spoiled. This is the 4th book, technically 5th if you count novellas, in the A Court, Thorns and Roses series, and it's following different characters, which is cool, and yeah. Finally, last book, I promise, is Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky by Kwame Mablia. Sorry. This book is another Victorian Presents books. I'm really feeling middle grade, if you cannot tell. And it is based off of kind of African mythology. I believe West African, but I'm not positive about that. I don't know anything about this book. I just know that it's Victorian Presents, so I bought it. And Jade from Jade Reads is doing she has like a middle grade monthly book club where they read like a middle grade book and do a live show about it, and they're doing this book this month, and I was like, hey, I actually have that book, so why don't I join in? And then I can watch the live show and it can be all fun. So that is my plan, and that is why I'm reading this book, and excited. So I also link her channel down below so you know what's up. So that's all the books that I have today for me to read this month. I'm really excited because a lot of these are ones that I'm actually like really interested in, so I cannot wait to get my hands on them. Hopefully I can read them all, but that's a little much. We will see what happens. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you are reading any of these books, let me know, or just let me know what you're reading in May, because I want to build back myself. I want to build myself back into this community, and yeah, so again, thank you so much. I love you. I hope you're having a super awesome day, morning, evening, afternoon, night, whatever time it is for you when you're watching this, and yeah, goodbye.